What's up, guys? This is Drew over at TheStarSoundStudio and over here at Ford Nation.
What's up?
What's going on, man? Yo, listen, I gotta ask you, what's up with the mustache?
Oh man, the mustache. Well, I started to grow out the mustache when I found out my wife was pregnant.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. I joked about that for years and years, man. And when we found out she got pregnant, I started to grow it out. But I believe I'm the only guy in Christian hip hop with a big old stash.
That's awesome.
Gentleman stash. So let's go.
Cool, man. So we've been working with you for almost 2 years now, I think.
May of 2020. May of 2020.
We weren't even in the studio. We were in the other studio, in
Correct.
the warehouse. So tell everybody what inspired you to get into music?
Well, I was always a part of rock bands since I was about 13, 14 years old.
He's got the pipes.
Thank you. And in 2013, I stepped away from music completely because I became a devoted Christian. And I knew that if I went back to doing rock and that kind of stuff, then I was gonna fall back. So I took a break from music completely, and October of 2019, I prayed on what I can do to get back into music, and the Lord led me to hip hop, which I found weird because I never did hip hop before. I started to write, started to study hip hop, and then in May of 2020, I came across you, and I stepped into the studio to record my first hip hop track.
Awesome. I remember that day. That was insane, man. What was that track that we were working on?
Oh,
like
the last train home.
Yeah, that track was sick, man. It was like a blend of like rock and rap.
Yeah.
And I learned back then that you can scream like a heavy metal artist, but you could also rap like Tech Nine, and you're the complete package, man. And I believed in you ever since that first day. So
thank you.
So you said that you were studying Christian hip hop.
Well, just hip hop. Sorry. Oh, and also, I might be the only guy in CHH that has a stutter as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that I might be.
Yeah, but that gets alleviated when you rap.
Exactly.
I think it might actually help you out.
When I rap, it goes away. Just goes away.
And I've heard that about some people that stutter. I was reading an article about a kid who had a stutter, and he learned like all of Eminem's record, and it pretty much cured him.
Wow, so, that's amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm studying, it's as far as hip hop artists go, like the Wu-Tang Clan, Tech Nine, Nipsey, Ice Cube, bro, you name it. I had to go back and study their music because I had to learn what a cadence was. I had to learn how to write. I had to learn how to flow in hip hop, and the only way to do that is to go back and study the pioneers that started to where we are now. You know, the ones that carried it along and the whole way through. And
are there any pioneers of Christian hip hop that
Yes.
people should look into to kind of learn what you're trying to, the message that you're trying to send here?
Yes. So there's T-Bone, which is the first concert I ever went to as well when I was like 9 years old. Seven, which is a part of Hog Mob. Dayton from Got Over Money. Bizzle. We have Cray, which actually was the first CHH guy to win a Grammy.
What's your creative process like before you come in the studio?
All right, before I come into the studio, what I actually do is I pray at home. I actually do before I leave the house. And then I recite my track 1,000 times before I come in here. Because even though I might stare at the cell phone or at a sheet in here, I want to know what I'm saying, and not to the point where I have to read it per se. It's I'm staring at the words, but I know what I'm saying. So when I come in here, it just flows, and just go over it 1,000 times. Just do it. And that's pretty much it, man.
You are definitely a perfectionist. I mean, you were just in here yesterday. and you were saying that you were tossing and turning
because I couldn't get a song
you felt
right.
like the verse was kind of off.
A single verse, yes.
But you got it right now.
But I got it right now.
Okay, awesome. I know we've been working for a couple of years now, and it took a while to kind of get you out of your shell to start promoting yourself.
Correct.
Tell everybody about how you are getting your music on SiriusXM, and how do you like relate to your fan base? Because you're starting to grow a fan base, you're starting to do live shows, things are really starting to pop for you. Tell everybody about that process.
Yeah, so as far as XM goes, I had to take myself out of my shell and start to just start conversations with DJs online and artists that I look up to. And yeah, so by doing that, then it allowed me to turn in my music. And when they listened to it, I expected them to say, well, it's okay, but it's not that great. But I got a lot of great feedback. And so then that gave me the confidence to start to go out and start to promote myself to promoters, to try and get on shows and everything else, man. And it's just that rule where it's 20% your music, 80% promoting yourself.
This is very important. A lot of you guys come in and you barely promote yourselves, but you spend a lot of time on your music. You see what he's saying is he's got this 80-20 rule. You have to take time to promote yourself and your music. You can't just put it on SoundCloud and expect that something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And, take it from, Forward Nation. He's doing something. He's putting the time in. He made it to the chart, the SiriusXM Christian hip hop charts, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, for the urban influencer Christian hip hop charts, which are the top 30 most influential songs for hip hop, which are out there right now, and I came in at number 28.
That's freaking amazing, man.
Which is crazy. And by the way, I learned that rule from Jay.
Okay.
80-20.
Tell everybody what your process is when you work with Jay.
Okay, right. So I come in here. We talk about the song we're gonna do for that day. We go over it first. I go in the booth. I do about 2 or 3 dry runs, and then I try and hit the track as a one take. If I cannot, then we go back and we chop it up to wherever it is that I experience some difficulties, or I have to stop and breathe. Those parts there, we'll chop it up there. But for the most part, I try and do the straight run through if I can, because you start to build up that emotion as you go through that track, and the second you stop to restart, that emotion is lost.
That is true.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming through and chatting with us.
Yes,
how do people find your music?
You can find me on Instagram on _Nation_hip-hop, TikTok Forward Nation, Twitter Forward Nation, and Facebook Forward Nation. And Forward is FOREWORD, which stands for introduction, because I'm reintroducing Christ into hip hop. And I'm also known as La Introducción, which means introduction in Spanish.
All right, man. Appreciate you coming through, man.
Yes, sir.
So everybody book in, www.TheStarSoundStudio.com. Check out the Instagram. You can see it down below. IG at TheStarSoundStudio. And we'll see you on the next one.
Best studio in Southwest Florida.
Appreciate that.
Let's go.